Today we're taking a look at the Milwaukee Bucks vs Phoenix Suns match, which is happening on Monday, April 19, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Chris Paul and the Phoenix Suns, 40-16, opened their 5-game road trip against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks, 35-21, in a matchup between two of the NBA's best teams. The last time these two teams played on February 10th, we were blessed with a 125-124 thriller that had 8 ties and 11 lead changes, with the Suns erasing a 16-point deficit to win by 1 point in regulation. There are a handful of teams, and maybe more, who could get to the NBA Finals. 2 of them play Monday when the Milwaukee Bucks host the Phoenix Suns. The Bucks are third in the Eastern Conference at 35-21, while the Suns are second in the Western Conference at 40-16. The Suns beat the Bucks 125-124 back on February 10th in Phoenix. This game should be equally as close. Despite going 8-0 in the bubble and adding Paul in the offseason, the Suns have been one of the season's biggest surprises and a bettor's favorite at 35-21 against the spread, ATS. Phoenix is an impressive 21-7 against teams over .500 with wins over the Jazz, Lakers, 76ers, Nuggets, and Heat, as well as Milwaukee. So here's my first betting suggestion for that game. The Suns have been on fire lately and they were riding a 4-game win streak before getting ambushed by the slumping Spurs in a big loss at home on Saturday. The Bucks have cooled off with 4 losses in their last 6 and they didn't look too good in their big loss to the Grizzlies. But it's safe to assume that they'll only improve with Antetokounmpo back in the lineup. It's tempting to take the Grizzlies with a short line at home. The Suns were embarrassed Saturday night against the Spurs. It was probably their worst loss of the season as they only scored 85 points. This is a team that's not used to losing like that and they will take it hard, which means they will come out firing on all cylinders Monday to get that loss out of their system. The Bucks meanwhile might be caught looking ahead to their huge 2-game set with Philly, where a couple of wins could draw them closer to the top of the Eastern Conference. The Suns have the size and defense to slow down Giannis and the shooting Bucks. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Phoenix. Even the best teams stumble once in a while. Take the Suns, for example, who had been on a ridiculous roll, winning 11 of their last 12 games heading into Saturday's game with San Antonio. Well, all good things must come to an end as they were manhandled in a 111-85. It was just one of those nights as the Suns only shot 40% from the floor and made only 6 of 27 from 3-point range. The Suns rank in the top 10 in both offensive and defensive ratings, making them a championship contender despite not getting the attention of the likes of the Lakers, Clippers, Nets, etc. The Suns are scoring 117.0 points per 100 possessions, 7th in their non-garbage time minutes, according to Cleaning the Glass, and they're also holding opposing teams to 109.5 points per 100 possessions in their non-garbage time minutes. Despite how great the Suns have been this season, they do appear to be slipping, which is normal for a long season. Over the past 2 weeks, Phoenix has a defensive rating of 111.9 in their non-garbage time minutes, 14th. Over the past week, they gave up defensive ratings of 117.5, 121.3 and 114.1 to the Rockets, Kings, and Spurs, who were 27th, 12th and 18th in offensive rating. The most concerning result was a 111-85 loss to the Spurs on Saturday night, with San Antonio sitting DeMar DeRozan, along with Patty Mills and Jakob Poeltl. The loss snapped Phoenix's 10-game home winning streak, and this is potentially a make-or-break point for its season with games against the 76ers, Bucks, Celtics, Nets, and Knicks coming up. The Suns are just 1.5 games behind the Jazz for the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Unlike the Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, and Utah, Phoenix hasn't suffered any significant injuries to key players, nor have they done much to worry about in terms of load management. The Suns have been shooting the three ball really well recently, having made a franchise record 25 on 55.6% shooting from beyond the arc last Monday against the Rockets. In Saturday night's loss to the Spurs, though, they shot just 6 of 27, 22.2%. The Suns are 9th in three-point shooting percentage, 38.3%, so we can expect them to regress to the mean, particularly in this matchup against the Bucks, who give up the 6th highest percentage, 38.4%, on three-point field goals. Even more comforting for the Suns in this matchup is that the Bucks give up the 3rd highest percentage from corner three-pointer, 43.3%, where the Suns are shooting the 3rd highest percentage, 44.3%, in the league this season. With the Bucks giving up the 5th highest frequency of three-point field goals, 39.4%, this is a game in which three-point variance will play a major part of the outcome. This is just part of the picture offensively for the Suns, as Devin Booker and Paul are generating a significant amount of their offense from the mid-range. The Suns are 7th in mid-range shooting frequency, 35.2%, and 1st in mid-range shooting percentage, 49.3%. The Milwaukee Bucks have a brutal stretch coming up. Over the next 5 games they face Phoenix, Philly twice, then 2 likely playoff teams, Atlanta and Charlotte on the road. With Boston surging now, they can't afford to lose to many of these games, or they could slip out of 3rd place into 4th place in the conference. That seems unlikely as they hold a 4.5 game lead over Boston, but why tempt it? We've heard it all before, like Sunshine Anderson. 2 years of Antetokounmpo putting up MVP seasons, leading the Bucks to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, only to fizzle out in the playoffs as everyone fatigued. No one's impressed this season, as it appears this team has taken a step back from previous regular seasons. At just 25 to 31 ATS, no one's getting paid either, since this team isn't overperforming the way it has in the past. The Bucks are dominating the teams that are supposed to beat, going 21-4 against teams below .500, but are just 14-16 against teams above .500. As twisted as that sounds, maybe that's a good thing? For the first time in 2 seasons, expectations are low going into the playoffs. Still, this Bucks team is dangerous and a true championship contender. Antetokounmpo is back in the lineup after missing 6 games with a knee injury and having another MVP caliber season, averaging 28.4 points, 11.2 rebounds and 6.1 assists. Like the Suns, the Bucks are top 10 in both offense and defense. They're scoring 117.3 points per 100 possessions in their non-garbage time minutes, 6th among NBA teams, according to Cleaning the Glass. They also have a defensive rating of 111.1 in their non-garbage time minutes, which is 8th. Unfortunately for the Bucks, their defense isn't what it was in previous seasons. In Saturday night's 128-115 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies, the Bucks had a defensive rating of 126.3 and allowed a whopping 60 points in the paint. Turnovers also fueled the Grizzlies' offense in a night where it felt like the Bucks never had any rhythm. But in a long season, every team has games where it feels like they're never in it, and this was one of those nights for the Bucks. With 3 more games at home during this homestand, including 2 against the 76ers, we can expect a better effort going forward. The Bucks have been missing Dante DiVincenzo with a sprained toe, which means that Bryn Forbes has been getting more minutes over the past 2 games. Against a depleted Hawks team, it didn't have much of an impact, but against teams like the Grizzlies and Suns, he's a liability. The Bucks' defense is 3.7 points per 100 possessions worse defensively with him on the floor. DiVincenzo's impact as a scorer, playmaker and defender can't be understated. Milwaukee is 7.9 points per 100 possessions better with him on the court against offense. If DiVincenzo can't go, you have to slightly downgrade the Bucks in this spot. It's not all doom and gloom with the Bucks in this matchup, though. So here's my second betting suggestion for that game. Oddsmakers have set this total at 234.5 for a reason. These are 2 of the league's best defenses, featuring 2 teams that are top 10 in 3-point percentage. Although the Suns are just 24th in pace, 98.19, according to NBA Advanced Stats, the Bucks are third in that category at 102.45 possessions per game. The last time these two teams played, it was a slow game at 95 possessions, but these teams put up offensive ratings of 130.8 and 129.7 as they reached a total of 249 points. I'm not seeing anything from these teams at this point that suggests that they can slow the other down. The Suns have struggled defensively over the past few weeks, and the Bucks should be able to capitalize on that, especially with their tendency to give up points in the paint without an answer for Antetokounmpo. Given the Bucks' tendency to give up open three-pointers, I think the Suns also should have no problem scoring. The Suns are 1-4 ATS in their last 5 road games and 43-21 ATS in their last 64 games overall. The Bucks are 0-5 ATS in their last 5 home games and 4-1 ATS in their last 5 Monday games. The over is 8-3 in Suns' last 11 overall. The over is 7-1 in Bucks' last 8 home games. The Suns are 5-2 ATS in the last 7 meetings in Milwaukee and 5-1 ATS in the last 6 meetings. The Milwaukee Bucks have been in a bit of a rut as they've lost 4 of their past 7 games, and they will be eager to bounce back after getting stopped by the Grizzlies in a 128-115 home loss on Saturday. Giannis Antetokounmpo led the team with 28 points, 11 rebounds and 8 assists. Bryn Forbes added 19 points, Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez each scored 17 points, while Chris Middleton chipped in with 16 points and 10 assists. As a team, the Bucks shot just 42% from the field and 16 of 47 from the three-point line, but they got off to a slow start and were always fighting an uphill battle after allowing the Grizzlies to pour in 69 points in the first half. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 234.5. And now for some stats and trends. Suns are 14-3 ATS in their last 17 games following a straight-up loss. Suns are 9-2 ATS in their last 11 road games versus a team with a winning home record. Suns are 13-3 ATS in their last 16 games versus a team with a winning percent above .600. Bucks are 0-5 ATS in their last 5 home games. Bucks are 3-12 ATS in their last 15 games versus a team with a winning percent above .600. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.